Hello, how you all doing tonight? I hope you had a good Thanksgiving, ate lots of turkey, and now we're getting ready for Christmas. It just comes so fast. I told you I would come back and I would show you how to make the fur bears. So I have a few here, and I'm going to walk you through them, my process and how I do it. The pattern is available on my Etsy, in my Etsy shop, and I'll leave a link below. For everything I'm going to show you tonight. Well, let's just start out. This little one is in pieces because I want to show you the different pieces as we get going. So I didn't glue her together. But this one is a brooch or a pin, whatever you want to call it. This is some chipboard that I cut out and put on the back here. And this little girl is made out of this very long pink fur. I got this off of a pillow, and I love to see what I can make with things that I find. Actually, I found these at the dollar store a couple years ago, and I love the color. It's so soft. I bought every pillow they had. And then I went back when they got more and bought some more. So I will show you how to work with that long fur. Now, you will get full of fur. So make sure you know that and you're ready for that kind of a thing. This here is from this little toy. I did get to Goodwill this week to find some fur. I chopped up, let's see, one arm and the belly. The belly is pretty much gone. This is the back of the bear. This is the front. Yeah, the belly is gone. Let's see if I can get this away a little bit more. You can see it better. But this was a whole bear. I love this kind of fur that goes all different which ways on the toys because it's very easy to work with. It's nice and light. It's thin, but yet it looks very thick. And it's easy to work with. So her little face and her little body is made out of that whole thing, that bear that you've seen. So we'll get to her in a minute. And then I made this one, which I don't like, but because I messed up the glue in its eye. I got too much glue over there. I tried to cut it out, didn't work. So I made a smaller one. I don't really like the small one, but these are very furry. And I'll show you the guy I took this from. He's a biggie. He's a big guy. Very big. You can see I cut off his arm. I used the hand pads. These are the foot pads. But I used the hands that we had the same kind of vanilla cream fur there, which is short-haired. Like this. This is very thick fur. I used that for the ears. I made the body out of, this is it right here. It's very thick. I really don't like working with it. I think it's too thick. Even the long fur is easier to work with than this. But it does make a real furry bear. And if you want to mess with it, I also use the snout. I made the snout out of the foot pads or the hand pads. I do like it. I just messed up on it, and that kind of discouraged me right there. So then I have this little guy or girl, whatever you want to call him. This one is an easy one too, and I just did the hands and the feet to show you, or the hands and the face to show you, and that came from this little guy. He's a cutie. I used the back of his head. I try to take the biggest area without a seam in it. This would be the next area, his back and his buns I would take. You lose a lot here when they have eyes, nose, and like that because they clamp them in. So they're very hard to get out. You have to cut a lot away, and so you lose a lot of fur. But his little feet, and he's got a tummy, and these you can all open up and use. This is what I really, really like to use for the bears. And then I have this one here. This is a different kind of a fur, and it's off of whatever this thing is. I think it was a dinosaur or something like that. I don't know what it is. It has these little scales on the back. But I cut one side of his back open, and I have this much that I worked from. And this was very nice. It was a short-haired and layered, so that I really didn't have to do much to this. And I will show you how to make them. And let me see. I think that's it as far as the toys go. The fur. Things that you'll need. Number one, you're going to need some like file folder or something, cardstock to put your patterns on. Let me see, what am I doing here? Okay, where did that fur go I was going to use? Well, all right, I'm going to, don't you know it? Yeah, I put it back over here. There it is. I'm going to work with this piece here first to show you because it's the easiest one, and then I'm going to show you the long-haired because that's the hardest one. And don't get upset because there are techniques and there are ways to do things, so we don't have to kill ourselves while we're doing it. Okay, I'm just going to pour some glue on my tray over here. I just need a little bit of tacky glue. Come on now, don't be stubborn. All night it's been coming out good for me. Now it won't, right? It's because you're watching, right? Okay, you always need a little bit of white glue for the eyes and the nose. That's something you should remember, as well as hot glue. And the pattern, you need your pattern, and I recommend that you print it out on cardstock. It is in my Etsy shop, and I will leave a link below. And with the pattern, you will also get the eyes that are printable. There's two sizes. There's a large and there's a small. Now, usually for the fur bears, I only use the large pattern, the large size. All of these are large, and they really don't look that large. Now, she does, because she has a lot more fur. So it just depends on the fur, and every single one of them comes out differently according and depending on the fur. And I also use eyes, black rounds, flat back round eyes. And for these bears, I use 6mm. And I have every size eye you can buy because I love to make all different kinds of animals. I've done that for many years. And these are 6mm for these large ones, and I use the large pattern. And so let's get started. Okay, first thing we want to do is we want to trace our head pattern onto our file folder or cardstock, whatever it is you have. Trace your pattern and then trace it for the ears and for the paws. So you need 2 for the ears, and these will only be 1 layer each. We don't have to layer them, which is nice. With the other ones, the plush felt, you do need to layer them, and these you don't. Now this may be a long video, so you might want to watch it in 2 parts. I will speed up these parts that where I'm just cutting stuff out. I meant to have them cut out, and then I forgot. I don't know. I forget everything until I'm doing it, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about that. I hope you're like that too. I say when you get older, you're no longer a brand new car. You're a used vehicle. All your parts are like giving out. Mostly your brain, you know. I mean, mine does. Okay, so. Okay. Here we go. So I have my fur, and it doesn't matter where I put my piece. I don't necessarily put it on a seam. I try not to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my hot glue, and I want to make sure that I have a little bit of edge around here, because I'm not going to cut right up to the circle. I'm going to leave a little, like, seam allowance, I guess you could call it. And over here, I'm just going to do the ears. I'm not going to do the paws, but I wanted you to see that you need to cut out enough for the ears and the paws. Okay. Now I'm leaving a seam allowance. I'm going to go all the way around and just leave a bit of a seam allowance here. And whenever you cut a circle, you need to clip into it. I'm going to glue the edges over the cardstock. But I'm clipping into it so that it will fan out when I glue it, and it won't be all bumpy and lumpy. Okay. And here I got a little bit too close, but it'll work. You're going to get full of glue, you're going to get full of fur, but you'll have a good time. I hope. And there is the head. Isn't that cool? That's it. That's the head. Where's my toothbrush? Okay, now I'm going to brush it. Just fluff it out a little bit. And if there's anything on it that I don't want on there that's just sticking out awkwardly, I'll just cut it off. Right now, it looks pretty good. Then we're going to do the same thing for these. Okay, and now we're going to glue the edges of the ears. I highly recommend low hot glue, low temp hot glue, so you don't burn yourself. And then you have to brush it out. And here's the other one I just did off camera. Okay. Now I like to put the ears on before I put the snouts on. Okay. So, and that's because if I mess up, if I put the snout on, then I can't mess up with the ears. But if I mess up with the ears, I can make the snout wherever I need it to be. But if I already got the snout on, I'm in trouble. So I just kind of put it anywheres. Over on that side. Get some hot glue, just one side of the ear. You don't need a ton. And I kind of make them so they're like that. Now I'm going to do the snout, and that's this oval. And I use an off-white felt. And how I do that, I showed you on the other Tear Bear tutorial. Oops. Everything is sticking together because of the glue strings, you know. So I'll pin this in, and then I'm going to cut it. Oh. So if you see things flying around, it's because the glue is taking away everything I have here. But it's the best way to do it because they dry quickly and you can work with them better. Okay. So I take that off. I put a little glue on one side and glue it to the felt. I do 3 layers on the snout. I think you're going to be surprised at how easy these bears are to make. I make them pretty similar to the ones of the plush felt that I have on the last tutorial for bears. Just with a little difference that you don't have to cut so many layers of the fur, just one, and I put it in I back it with cardstock so that it stays. With the plush felt, you don't have to do that. If you did, it would just be too thick. You wouldn't be able to do it. Then I take my handy dandy dog brush and I brush the felt till it starts coming out and being fuzzy. I do front and back, both sides, and it doesn't take long. I also like to take like a hat pin or something, and I will pull out the edges. I don't think I showed this on the last tutorial of the bears, but it's a very good thing. I do it with the plush felt too. Maybe I did. I don't know. I don't remember. Okay, and I'm going to, where'd my, there it is. Okay, toothbrush. I'm going to brush that out. And I'm kind of going to situate it so that it's, you know, flowing kind of like what a real bear's snout would do. Then I'm going to trim a little off the bottom, like that. I'm going to take my head. I hope this is close enough. Okay. And I'm just going to put it there. I like to, you could use this if you wanted to, absolutely could, but I like to have a little bit of a difference so you can tell their face, what part of their face you're looking at. Okay, and then I'm going to take a set of eyes, and I think I'll do brown. I'm going to cut them out. And this is where I use the tacky glue. I don't use the hot glue to put these on because sometimes I need to move them around, and the hot glue obviously doesn't let you do that. So and now I'm going to take a marker, my black marker, and because on this kind of fur, I got a little bit on here, but you can't really go around it with a narrow marker like I showed you on the plush felt ones that you can do. So what I like to do is I like to do the edge with a marker. That way it doesn't look stupid. You know, when you put it on there and there's this white line around your eye that doesn't look very natural. Unless there's something wrong with you, I don't know. I have never seen it. I don't really want to see it. That would freak you out, right? Oh my gosh, you got white eyes. Raccoons, that's right. We're not making raccoons. We're making bears. Okay. So now I'm going to, I put that on there. Where's my, I have to look for everything. There it is, tweezers. I have particular tools that I use. Long tweezers. Put some glue on the back of that eye. Quite a bit too much. And then place the eye where I want it. And I have time to move it around. I also like to press it down. Yeah, that's good. Secure it down like that for a second. Take the other one and do the same thing with the other side. Way too much glue on there. Let's see, how is that? Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Okay. So now this is where I put the eyes. This is when I put these eyes in. I'll take two of these. And I use glossy accents. I've done this for years and it works. It's beautiful. I can't get those eyes out. As long as they are glued to the paper, not the fur, but to the paper. And if I just put them in fur, first I glue paper to them. I used to make dogs and the eyes were 8 millimeters, a little bigger, like a quarter of an inch. So I would punch out a quarter of an inch circles, black circles, and I glue the glossy accent paper to the back of the eye. Then I put it in the fur, and I'm telling you, I could never get, they would never fall out. I never had a problem with that. So that's good to know, because the eyes are plastic. I mean, and it's hard to glue plastic. But with glossy accents, you can do it. Push it down. Come on, behave for me tonight. There we go. Push it down. I gotta look at it, see if I got it right. Yeah, it looks okay. Now, if these points bother you, you can always clip them off. I do that sometimes. Sometimes I don't. Most of the times I don't. Tonight I'm doing it. Okay. So there we have half the face, and I'm having half the coffee. Okay, so now for the nose, I use 1-inch paw punch. Black paper, and I punch. You can get 4 noses out of here. I do not use this part here. I know it's a real nose, but it's not the nose I want. So I usually use the round one. There's 2 that are like oblong, and then there's 2 round ones. But before I put that on there, I'm going to take a little piece of brown felt, and I'm just going to cut me a small piece. Small like that. I don't want it, it doesn't need to be, you know, it's going to go on the nose, all right? So this is just a little secret I'm sharing with you, and I hope you can see it. I'm going to take my hat pin, and I'm just going to push out on the edges, pull out with the needle until it starts raveling away, pulling away, and the fibers start breaking up. And then I have, oh, just a little piece like that, very small. And then I'm going to put my glue on this nose that I'm going to use. I'm going to turn it over. Yeah. I want you to see this, and just stick that on there. Just going to put that on there, and while I'm waiting for that to dry a little bit, I'm going to do the mouth line, and all I do for that is I just cut off a slanted piece. Where'd it go? Come on. Let's try that again. A slanted piece of black paper, like so, and I'm going to drag that through my tacky glue, and I'm going to glue that right there, and I'm going to cut a little bit off where I think it should be, where I like it. Might be a little bit too much. Need a little bit more. Okay. Then I'm going to pick this up with my tweezers. And, I mean, you don't have to do this, okay? You can just put the black nose on there. You don't have to cover it with felt. I like to, but you don't have to. I mean, it gives it more of a stuffed animal look or a real teddy bear look. To me, it does anyways. But you certainly don't have to. You can just use the... Do I have one here? I might have one here. I don't think I do. You could just use the black. That's fine. So okay, I'm going to put the nose on. And if I need to just trim that felt a little bit, it's easy enough to do. It really is. And you don't have to be super fussy. I don't like that one little piece there. Can't see it. There we go. Okay. So pretty much the hat is done, and that wasn't difficult. Few steps that you have to remember to do, but if you do a few of them, after a while it becomes pretty easy and you won't forget. You can just fluff this up. Now I like to do, I like to put a little rouge on their face. So I use chalk and a makeup brush, and I just put it on like that. And actually for this little girl, I'm going to put some pink in her ears. Because I like the color of her. She's good. Now the next thing you would do, okay, this is the same bear, but see how different they come out? I don't know why, but they do. I did go around the eyes here. I think the snout is a little smaller. I'm not sure. But anyways, here is the body, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing. I'm just going to tell you. You cut this out. You glue it onto your fur, just like you did the head, and then you glue it around right to the cardstock, and you have your body. I mean, that's all there is to that. And for the feet, for here, I took and I cut these out of the fur, and I went around them just like I did the ears. I did the same thing for the hands. I went around them. This one had a lot of it. And then I took the felt and I took the small snout pattern and I put 2 layers of the felt and I glued them together. Then I brushed them and fluffed them out, and then I put them on the foot to give it like a foot pad. And then this is a magic marker where I just made a little mark here, and I went to the top, the middle center here, and I made a mark here, here, and here, this little thing, and there I have a foot. So you can do that. You can also ink up around your bears. I inked her up a little bit, but my ink is running dry, so I really didn't do a good job. Okay, so that's that kind. Now for the fur one of, let's just say frou-frou one too, all right? Frou-frou one, this is a little more involved, but you can do it. And it's, I mean, I think she's very pretty. Look how long this fur is, and look how short her fur is, and I'm going to show you. And it's layered, okay? You see that? Her hands, her ears, her head, everything is layered. And that's what, but it's still nice and thick because it's this fur here. So, oh, I should have had that cut off. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're ready to do the fur bear. And I just kind of brushed it down. It doesn't really matter which way you put, it's a circle. For the head is just a circle. So it doesn't matter where you put it. So I'm going to put it here, and I'm still going to leave me an outline here. Now with fur like this, with a long nap and like that, you need to cut it a particular way. And if you don't cut it that way, it's not going to be as nice. And what that is, and a lot of people don't know how to do this, is this here is what they call a lining, the backing of the fur. And you can actually go in and not cut the fur. You can actually go in and just cut the lining. Okay, so that's what we want to do. Keep your scissors up so that you don't cut the fur, and you'll be surprised how easy it is. And we just want to go around and give it a seam allowance. And do not cut the fur. And it really works very easily. Okay, but when you pull it away, you're going to get fibers coming out from where it fell out, not cut out. And it will be pulled out easily. So this is the other side where you cut, where I cut, but it didn't cut straight like that. It pulled out, which is really what you want, okay? And now we're going to go in, and I'm going to clip just the lining. Whenever you do a circle, you always want to clip if you're going to glue or sew something around that circle. Okay, so I'm going to come in, make sure I'm in camera here, and just pull the lining over. Don't worry about the fur, it'll come all by itself. And we're going to get rid of some of that fur, so it's not so bulky. Just going to pull it over. Not worried about the fur. I just want that lining glued down. All the way around. Okay. Make sure it's all down. We're going to turn it over, and with our toothbrush, now you don't need the dog brush. You just need, I got a piece of... Okay, so we have that all brushed out, nice. Now this is about the only time we're going to do a cut straight across the fur, like I told you we weren't going to do when we were cutting it out. But this time there's a reason, and it'll work out good. What we want to do, the reason is we don't want this huge piece of fur to be a bear. It's got to be shaped. So now we're going to shape this bear. So we're going to turn it over and start cutting in the back here, a little bit off, just so you can see where the circle is, and you can feel it too. And come over here, and we're going to just cut some of this off. We want it to be in the shape of a head. So now is the time that we're going to do that. And then we're going to really shape it up good. Okay, so we've got that. Now I'll take my toothbrush, and I'm going to hold this down with one of my fingers, and I'm going to brush this all the way up. And then I'm going to kind of split it down. I want it to be like halfway up and halfway down. A little more than that, because I'm going to put the snout on. So I have to kind of figure out where I want that snout. It does take a little longer than the other bears, but if you like this kind of a bear, then it's worth it. Okay, so this is what I have right now, okay? And I'm going to put my snout on. This is the only time I'm going to do that. Like I said, I always put that on last. But before I do that, I'm going to cut a little bit out because it seems to be a little thick. So I'm just going to cut some out. Like that. Then I'm going to put some glue on the bottom of this snout and put it to the bottom of the head. So that it's like that. And then I'm going to brush it this way a little bit more. I'm going to take my scissors, and I'm going to cut into the fur like this. Just keep cutting into the fur. What you're actually doing is making layers in the fur. Make sure you come out and get all the fur. And then we're going to brush that out and brush it down and see how far we've come. Because see, on this bear, there's layers. And I brush it down, and you can see the layers. I did that for the ears and for the paws. You don't have to, but I like it. So I'm going to keep cutting here. I'm going to give a little place for the eyes. I want to make sure I want to cut up there a little bit more than where I cut any place else. You got to empty your toothbrush and then brush it back down till it starts getting short enough where it looks like real fur. So you just, this one takes a little bit of time, but I like it. I think it really looks like a real bear. You know, a stuffed animal bear, not a bear at the zoo or in the woods or anything, but a baby bear, a cute bear. Okay, so it's got a little bit of a thing up there. I'm just going to cut into that. And if I don't like it at the end, but I do like it, I'll just cut the thing off. So I'm doing more here where the eyes are going to go. I'm cutting into it. And this part here needs a little bit of trimming. It's a little long. Cut up into here. And this is how we shape this bear, is by cutting it like that. And it takes a little longer, like I said. But you have to really want a fur bear to do it, because it's going to take your time. It's kind of fun to shape it and to see how it's going to turn out. So what I'm doing now, I'm getting a really fuzzy bear, and I like it. Let me get some of this out here. What I'm going to do now is put the eyes in, and then I'll have a better idea of where things have got to go. Everything is on top of each other here. Oh, driving me nuts, these glue strings. They're all tacking everything. Don't you hate it when stuff just won't let go? No, it's mine. All right. So I want her eyes to be about like that. And I'm just going to press down a little bit. Give it a second to hook in there. Now I'm going to take this one and do the same thing. Maybe those eyes are a little too slanted, I don't know. I get carried away. Usually one is slanted more than the other. That's just ridiculous. Okay, well, that's all right. So now I'm going to brush it down, and I'm going to see, what do I have? I have a cute little bear with fur that I can just trim now where I want. Brush it forward, brush it backwards. You want to get all the loose fur out of there. Brush the snout. And gonna do more with the snout. It needs to be fluffed up a little bit. Okay. Now for the ear, all right, I did the same thing. I cut it, just the backing. I cut the backing, so this is left long like that. And then I clipped it. So now I'm going to glue it. All the way around. Come on now. Just remember the fur is going to come with it. Don't worry about it. You're just going to trim it, whatever's in the back here. So we want to brush this. So I did the other one off camera. So we got 2 of them. And again, now we want to trim it like we did the head. We want to shape it. So you can kind of feel where the end comes of the circle. So just kind of go in there and cut it off. Don't be afraid. There's one. Come here. And if one doesn't turn out, you can always make another one. They don't take a lot of fur, that's for sure. Just kind of round it out so that it looks like a circle to some degree. Kind of like an ear. Oops. Getting all kinds of stuff here. Okay, now for the ear, to shape that, I'm going to turn it, brush it this way again. Brush it up and do the cutting inside. Cut, cut, cut. Clip, clip, clip. Cut off some of those long strands. I just want a little bit of layering. I don't need a ton of it, but I want some of it because her face is layered, so I want her to, all of it to be layered. And then I'm going to brush it back down. If I need to do more, I will. So I did that. That looks good to me. I think I'm going to put that on this side of her head. Make sure the fur is out of the way. Oh, I don't know. I'll put it like that. And then I'm going to brush this one up. And I'm going to cut it the same way. Just cut into it. Don't cut across. Cut into it. And then brush it and see how you've done. Go back and cut some more if you want. Maybe you don't care. I think it looks better, more natural with layers than just all one length. Okay. So this one, I'll go like that. There we go. There we go. And you do the nose the same way I showed you with the brown and the mouth line. And then you want to pink up the cheeks. I'm not going to do all that because it's just redundant. We just went through all of that. So this is what she ends up looking like. I just gathered some lace here and I glued it to her neck here. And then after I got done, then what I also did when I sold these as brooches, I put another layer of fur in the back just so it didn't look stupid. And, and I always covered the chipboard with some pretty paper. So if you were going to make a brooch, and believe I used to get $35 a piece for these That was 15 years ago. So people really like them. And you can make all different kinds. The fur is just, there's no, and if you like the stuffed animals or even long fur like this, I think these are so like shabby chic. I love the pink there. Anyway, so that's the fur, how to make a fur teddy bear. I am going to come back and show you how to make a teddy bear to put inside of a Christmas boot, which I showed you earlier on one of the other videos. I just didn't get it done tonight. I thought this video would be long enough, and I didn't want to keep you any longer than I had to. So I will come back and show you how to make kind of a rounded teddy bear that almost looks fully stuffed. And you can just put it in something for a decoration, and I will show you all of that. So if you enjoyed my video or you liked it, please give me a thumbs up. I appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I have two groups, a journaling group and a crafting group, and I do give away free patterns and free graphics back and forth each one. So if you're interested in anything like that, please join my Facebook group. It's linked below. And this pattern can be found in my Etsy shop, which is also linked below. And I want to thank you for stopping by, and I will see you in the next video.